dude, that's why it was raining. I already know this box is full of like the shredded paper style packing because it was raining all over my house, dragging it in. But well, boys, this is what we've been waiting on for the last month and a half or so for the Malaguti. So I'm very excited to crack this thing open, and without further ado, yep, that is not my style of package. Like, how am I gonna? In here. Yes, sir. We got the stage 6 cylinder. All you boys were asking for this one. I don't know if there's anything else in this box, but it's getting thrown away. I'm gonna crack these things open and look at it. But we got an MK2 cylinder. We got a pipe in here. Stage 6. Let's go ahead and take a look at some stuff. So we decided to go with the Stage 6 MK2 cylinder, as you see, which is a single ring piston. So I think the only other single ring piston I have is my RC1. I don't think we have another single ring on a bike on this channel. And then here we got our Stage 6 cylinder. Dude, this thing is so light compared to this Corsa. Dude, that's insane different. I will definitely break out the scale to weigh that. Look at that compared to that. And they're so much bigger on the Stage 6. Those tiny little ones, huge ones. Interesting. Alright, we'll look more into the cylinder later. Reeds, reed cage, bolts, comes with the Allen key. We got our pipe. I don't even know if you can see it from that angle. And can you guess what pipe it is? Dun dun! Well, boys, we went with another Yasuni. As you can tell, my first Yasuni besides the Yasuni R. We got ourselves a Yasuni C16, boys. A little bit more oomph behind the Yasuni pipe for this one. A little Yasuni silencer for her. Alright, boys, it's time to start throwing this motor together. I decided I'm not going to do any porting on this cylinder for now because everything looks pretty good. The only thing I really aim for really is these transfers, which are actually really nicely done on this aluminum cylinder, and possibly could raise the exhaust port, but after talking to Chuck, he thinks that we're pretty much set on it. The exhaust port's pretty wide on these. What I can tell is on this Stage 6 one, can't really see it, this little flap, you see that right there? That little flap, and then there's like another casting flap right here. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but there's a little lip right there. I'm just going to take my file and just get that down so it's even and smooth, get that out of there before I throw this on. But other than that, we're looking pretty good, and we're going to work on throwing this motor together. So first things first, file that bad boy down. She's pretty. So now it's time. I'm going to crack this cylinder out, and well, we're going to get straight to it. Take our gasket. You've seen this. I've done this like 20 times in the last couple weeks, it seems like, on this one. Looks like we came with a lot of base gaskets on this one. So first things first, without even putting Honda on or anything, I'm going to go ahead and measure squish on this one. I'm going to show you, hopefully you'll be able to see this. It's kind of hard. I need to like figure out a camera mount that's like up here. That would be amazing. So we are going to simply check the squish right now in this. And we're aiming for a 0.68 just to be safe, because this thing is going to be, well, it's going to be ridden a lot. So, yeah, we're aiming for a safe squish. In the RC1, we did 0.55, which is an aggressive squish, if you would. This one, we're going to aim for a 0.68, which is more like a very ridden style, safe squish. Oiled up wrist pin. Oil up our cylinder.
So that first little rip around, it definitely seemed like the nitrous wasn't working. So I wanted to go to a more controlled environment.
Very happy with that. So now what we're going to do is take some solder.
That are very similar. It's just,
Take the head.
it's so much fun. So we have some fun. It's important. To just spin the tires up, no problem. So with the nitrous on it, it really made no difference. It just, you could spin them up a little faster. But so we didn't really want to waste it. And again, we didn't really want to put the wear and tear on the car. So we knew it worked. That was good enough for us.
I felt like it barely squished it. It was thin solder, it was only like 0.8 solder, so it barely should have squished it. As you can see, looks like it actually squished it decently, you can't really see it. We'll take our feeler gauge right here, digital feeler gauge. We will check. It actually kind of looks like we might need to double up on the gaskets. Yeah, we're going to have to put some more gasket. That's only a 0.39 squish. Like I said, we're aiming for a 0.68. Check the squish again.
Up here in this corner, and then those will be done and dusted, and they'll be easily removable. 4 bolts. It's looking like a Corvette again.
We're gonna have to stack some gaskets, boys, because that's 0.55 right there. Which that's what we put on my RC1, but to play it safe, we want that 0.68. I think we're gonna need one more gasket in there.
Perfect in between the frame rails, so it's bada bing, bada boom. Seal it up, so that shouldn't be.
In there.
On all 4 of these. So we got some work to hit and buy.
Check the squish.
I haven't decided what I want. I don't want to run my clutch kickers. Nice lathed handle. And then
What I say we were aiming for, it's upside down, but that's 0.68, boys. It's perfect. I imagine when you add some Honda Bond, it's going to add maybe a tiny bit to it, so we're probably going to be sitting at like a 0.7, which that is super friendly and still pretty aggressive. So I'm going to call that good with the base gaskets we got, and I'm going to go ahead and Honda Bond all this on, throw the cylinder on, and then I'll probably go ahead and throw this intake on, let it all dry for a few hours, and then come back out here and we'll pressure check the engine. So here we go, boys.
It's a little tricky. It's not perfectly flat on that inside. So with that, we are out of time for today's episode.
All right, boys, throwing the cylinder on.
Really good budget turbos. Really cool up here.
All right, boys.
Twins look really cool tucked back by the firewall. We need to racing for sending me the mock-up turbo, even though it didn't really accomplish the goal because I jumped the gun and thought we were good to go. Had a turbo motor, had mega squirt, really nice turbo kit, coilovers, roll bar, a bunch of good stuff on it. Cylinder 2, 125. From my past experience, that means there's probably a hole in the piston or a cracked ring lamp.
Alright, boys, continuing with the F12 build. I went ahead and threw the intake on, got our Honda Bond on there, had to make some gaskets for that out of the gasket paper I have. Again, cylinders all on there, everything's sealed up, exhaust plate, block off plate is on there as you can tell, and I got the pressure checker on there. So, well, I'm thinking it might leak right here. I had to use a different neck other than what came with the Stage 6 in order to make this work, to fit this pressure gauge, because it's for a bigger inlet on the carb, whereas the one I have for my Stage 6, I'm running a little 19 mil carb, so it has a tiny little inlet. But without further ado, let's see if this thing's holding air. Check this out. You're really not going to be able to see the pressure gauge much from where you're sitting. Maybe you will. I'll show you. Let's see if this baby's sealed or not. Perfect, man. We'll give it about 5 minutes and make sure it didn't go down, but It's looking like we're sealed up on this engine. Been like 5 minutes, probably a little longer, and it looks like we're still holding a little above 6 psi, which is where I left it at. So we're good. This thing is solid, no leaks, and this thing's ready to rip. We checked the squish, we got it to 0.68. We got no leaks in it, and well, I would say this thing's ready to throw back in the bike. There's a few things I still got to do before we do that, and that would be put on the cooling shrouds, put in the motor mount bar, and that would probably be it. I hung the Malaguti up in my infamous fashion of rafter strapping, and I threw the motor right in. We got the cooling shrouds on there. Motor's sitting in there pretty. I just mounted the shock up. We got our wheel on there with the brand new rubber. It's looking so good, dude. And well, I gently set the kickstand on there. As you can tell, I still have to bolt that up. I just want to make sure I did this right, and I'm gonna definitely have to make sure with the plastics before I make a permanent mount situation. But so far, everything's looking super good. I'm still unsure of the trans situation. I kind of thinking I'm gonna have to upgrade this CVT setup, especially because I literally have almost everything stock in it as of right now. So that's probably not gonna be the move. But still stock gears. From what I hear, everybody kind of leaves the stock gears in these horizontal Minarellis. If someone thinks otherwise, leave a comment down below. I'm curious of your thoughts. But for now, we have stock gear set in there still. Alright, while I got the scooter all upright and held up by these, I'm gonna go ahead and get this exhaust kind of configured onto there, or yoke, I guess you'd call it. Most likely have to Honda bond it. Same with the silencer back here. And then, yeah, I'm gonna figure out how many spaces I need and everything to get this C16 mounted onto the Malaguti. C16 all mounted up, boys. We have the, oh no, is that a scratch or is that a Honda bond? I think there's dried Honda bond on there. But we got the C16 on there. She's all mounted up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start plugging everything in, putting the carb on, etc., and get this thing ready to fire up. Alright, Malaguti coming a little bit more together. Pretty much got everything hooked up. Need to still dump the fuel that's out, fuel that's in this tank out. Can't talk right now. Got this panel mounted up, but I almost forgot. I have a tack to throw in on the bike, so I need to run this right now before I forget. And I'll probably just do exactly what I did with this one. Just place it on this side for the tack. Probably change the rollers by now, and I'm sure I'm gonna need a lot of tuning on this thing. So my plan is to kind of just get it started today, let it warm up a little bit, and then tomorrow hit it with. Tomorrow I'll spend some more time on actually tuning this thing in. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and run this wire. It's an attack, so it literally just wraps around your spark coil wire. So I'm just gonna run the wire down through the headset, wrap it around the spark coil wire, and then we'll be set with that. But it's getting there, boys. All right, boys, she's somewhat together, and well, I think it's almost time to start this thing up. Got my little fancy scooter swap shop gas tank full of some premix here.
And she said, Logan, I think, you know, one reaction overrides the other. And what? But apparently he's improving in the past 20 months. Improving after he said the NFL was handling the national. No, listen, I can't remember when Belle Duffy was making the fucking faces. Do you have a girl stuck at the time too? Yeah. Oh, wait, I don't so much. I want to talk about
Alright, Malaguti started right up. This thing sounds so good right now. I'm letting it just kind of get warm, just idling for a little bit. Shut it off, let it get cold again, and then probably heat it up again. Then I'll do a few passes on it, blah, 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 and actually break in this motor. Brand new crank, everything in the motor is completely fresh. So it's a one and done little shop right here. So letting this thing get a little warmer right now. Sitting at 180. Sounds pretty good though. Idle's getting a little low, it's getting warm. It's looking good, it's sounding good. Jeez, look at that C16, baby. First C16. I've only had Yasuni R. It's my first other Yasuni pipe, C16 here, so. Alright boys, well I'd hate to end the video with this much of a tease, but I think this is where we're gonna call it on the Malaguti, because after this, like I said, I'm gonna let this thing cool down, let it warm up again, and then I'm gonna actually start breaking in this motor and taking it for a little ride. But that'll be in the next video when we actually get to ride this thing, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Leave a thumbs up if you guys are stoked on the Malaguti as I am. Stay tuned, and I can't wait to feel this MK2 cylinder and see what it's really about. So that's gonna do it for this one. I'll see you guys on the next one.